unakuja unakutwa shambani, hauna wa kujitetea, unafukuzwa mbio, inabidi sasa utoke.
Hivyo unasikia risasi inapita, inakubidi sasa hata tukae mahali pamoja.
10 more people arrested, 5 schools closed as Lamu remains in the grip of insecurity.
Mahoka na wale wengine wote wanahangaika kwa sababu hawana soko mahali ya kufanyia biashara yao.
20 new markets and credit for small businesses. Ruto makes promises in first Nairobi campaign. And
in future, mimi sasa sitavai nguo tena naitoa. Kuanzia leo mimi sio RC.
Natembeya's next stop.
Nitaenda kule Nairobi nikijitayarisha.
Rift Valley Regional Coordinator quits after 26 years to join politics in Trans Nzoia. And welcome to the program. Our sign language interpreter tonight is Njoki Shege. Now, the nationwide power blackout witnessed on Tuesday has sparked off a probe into the possibility of sabotage. A high-level meeting attended by 2 cabinet secretaries, namely Dr. Fred Matiang'i of Interior and Dr. Monica Juma of Energy, alongside national security agencies, has been evaluating the causes of the recurring power outages just days after reduction of power tariffs was effected. This as several parts of Nairobi and neighboring towns remained without power for prolonged hours. We begin our broadcast with our very own Sam Gituku.
For 2 days, top government officials and representatives from the energy sector have been meeting to understand the genesis of the power transmission challenges. A meeting attended by CS's Fred Matiang'i and Monica Juma that also brought together Kenya Power Board Chair Vivian Yeda, National Intelligence Service Director General Philip Kameru, Deputy Inspector General of Police Nur Gabo, and other top officials has been seeking answers. In less than 1 month, the country has experienced at least 3 major power outages caused by collapsed power transmission lines or faults in the lines. In mid-December last year, the Loyangalani Suswa high voltage line of 220 kilovolts capacity went down. The collapse switched off power plants connected to the Suswa substation, forcing a generation shortfall. The line supplies up to 17% of the country's power needs. As such, Kenya Power was forced to ration power supply during the evening peak hours in parts of the country. On Tuesday morning, the Kiambere-Embakasi power transmission line of equal capacity of 220 kilovolts collapsed in Imara Daima when at least 3 towers fell. The damage caused a power outage that affected most parts of the country. On the same day, the Suswa-Embakasi power line experienced what the Kenya Power now says was a technical fault. Repairs have been ongoing but left several parts of Nairobi, Athi River and Kitengela without electricity. The areas worst affected have been Nairobi CBD, parts of Dagoretti North and Westlands constituencies, as well as parts of Machakos and Kajiado counties. The meeting by the 2 CSs looking into the possibility of sabotage from within and outside Kenya Power, weeks after review of power tariffs that were gazetted on Friday last week. The meeting concerned about the frequency of power outages and the falling towers. The team has called for investigations into the matter. At the Imara Daima scene, the fallen towers remain down. Officials from Kenya Power have been on the ground conducting repairs. Nearby towers appear to have been vandalized with support braces removed. Locals suspect that the side braces had been removed by scrap metal vendors out to make a kill.
Hiyo stima shui vile iligusana vile itetemeka hivi iko na nguvu ikaanguka chini. Chuma zilikuwa zimetolewa na wananchi, kuna wananchi walikuwa wametoa chuma, so ndio kwa sababu ilianguka vile inasemekana.
Officials at the scene informally told us that it could take up to 2 weeks to have the electricity towers back up. In the meantime, Kenya Power engineers have been seeking alternative sources of electricity for areas that have been affected by the outage for long. Sam Gituku, Citizen TV.
All right, Gituks, thanks so much for that. I hope the power is restored as soon as possible. Switching gears here, more than 5 schools in Lamu County have been closed indefinitely following a new wave of attacks carried out by own people. A majority of learners in the affected areas were forced to return home after reopening school earlier in the year. This, as Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha assured the country that all candidates will sit for their national examinations. Magoha says special consideration will be accorded to learners from areas that have been affected by insecurity. Let's get more from our very own Raquel Mwiga.
Frequent attacks in Lamu County have not only affected ordinary lives of the residents there, but also the education of their children, a majority of them having not yet resumed school. Most of the schools affected are within the villages of Mkunumbi Ward, this being Juhudi, Salam, Widhu, Holy Angel and Marafa primary schools. The locked-up classrooms and freely roaming goats tell clearly of the current situation in these schools. Here at Juhudi Primary, the students were forced to return home soon after reopening school this year.
Tangu wafungue, watoto kulipikwa ya kwanza, watoto wakakuja shule, wakati iliongezeka kama wiki moja. Wakati iliongezeka sasa, hakuna mtoto amekanyanga shule, sababu kila mtu sasa ako katika hofu.